Now we'll talk about multiplying numbers with 2 or more digits. And you should already be familiar with the procedure for multiplying numbers like this. But we'll review it quickly just by working through a few examples. So pay attention to the procedure here that we use to multiply these numbers. First, 28 times 13. We start here with the 3, and we'll multiply the 3 times the 8, and then the 3 times the 2. So 3 times 8 is 24. We put our 2 up here and our 4 down there. And then 3 times 2 is 6, and we add that 2. So we get an 8, and we put it in the next column. Now we're going to multiply the 1 times the 8, and then the 1 times the 2. And we need a 0 here, because our 1 here is in the tens column. We just need a placeholder right there so that our first answer goes down here in the tens column. 1 times 8 is 8. And then 1 times 2 is 2. And then we draw a line and we add. 4 and 0 is 4. 8 and 8 is 16. And I carry the 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So 364 is my answer. In the second example, I again start here, the bottom row with the ones place. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 5 times 7 is 35, and I add that 1, and I get 36. And then 5 times 4 is 20, and I add the 3, and I get 23. Then I put my 0, and then I look at the 1. And I'm going to multiply the 1 times the 2, and then the 7, and then the 4. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 7 is 7, and 1 times 4 is 4. And I draw a line and I add. 0, 6 and 2 is 8, 7 and 3 is 10, and 4 plus 2 is 6, plus that little 1 up there is 7. So 7,080 is my answer. In this last example, I start at the 5. I'm going to multiply the 5 times each of these digits, starting with the 1. And then I'll do the same thing with the 7. 7 times 1, 7 times 8, 7 times 2. And then the same thing with the 3. So we start with the 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Then 5 times 8 is 40. And then 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 4 is 14. Now I'm going to look at the 7. And I need a 0 here as a placeholder. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 8 is 56. So I'm going to cross out that 4 and put a 5 up there, 56. And 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 5 is 19. Now I multiply the 3 times each of those digits, and I need 2 zeros down here as placeholders. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. So I've got a 2 there now, 24. 3 times 2 is 6. And then add that 2, and I get 8. And then I add these 3 numbers up. So in the ones column, I get a 5, and here I get a 7. That's pretty easy. This next column is pretty easy too, because 6 and 4 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And then down here I can see the 9 and the 1 is a 10, plus my 1 is 11, and that 4 gives me a 15. And then 8 plus 1 plus that 1 gives me a 10. And I should put a comma here in my answer. It's 105,375.